I just got the USB-C version of the Airpods Max, and I was thinking, instead of reviewing them in the studio, let's go to Europe for a week.
Planes, trains, cafes, hotel rooms, the whole thing. Are the Airpods Max finally the perfect travel headphones? Let's find out. And thank you to PetSafe for sponsoring a portion of this video. So first up, packing. These things are big. No folding, no compact case, and in a carry-on, that matters. I ended up putting them next to my MacBook Pro. It worked out, but it wasn't ideal, and I'm always aware of the possibility of something piercing the mesh headband, and more on this later. Next, we got some airport chaos, and these go on my head as soon as I go through security. One thing that I immediately appreciated is that I can finally charge these with the same cable that I use for my iPhone 16 Pro, my iPad, and my MacBook Pro. No more lightning cables in my tech pouch. You gotta love that, and honestly, it's about time. Battery life, still rated for around 20 hours, which held up perfectly even with noise cancellation on almost the entire time. And one thing to keep in mind is that there is no off button on these headphones, so you do need to put the AirPods Max back in the smart case when you're not using them if you want to prolong battery life. And the good thing is that a quick 5-minute charge gives you about an hour and a half of listening time. Now for noise cancellation, honestly, these are still some of the best in the game. On this 9-hour flight from Newark to Dubrovnik, it blacked out the engine hum, crying babies, the snack cart, all of it. And when I needed to talk to a flight attendant, transparency mode is super natural and just a tap away. Honestly, it feels like you're not wearing headphones at all. One thing that I did want to bring out is that some of the flights that I went on had USB-A and USB-C ports, and some of them only had USB-A. So I think that on future trips, I might bring one USB-A to USB-C cable just as backup. All right, so I landed in Dubrovnik, made my way to my hotel, had a quick lunch, and then checked out the view. Now, real talk, the AirPods Max look great, super premium. I wore them around the hotel and then later on walking through the city. I know this is not the #1 deciding factor when you're buying headphones, but it still counts. Now, commuting with these around Croatia, so much fun. The sound is very good. I was listening to everything from Billie Eilish to Tribe Called Quest, don't judge me, and it all sounded good. And a lot of the time I had noise cancellation on, and I like that I can quickly switch between modes whenever I need to. I do have to say that these are quite heavy, and after about an hour or two of walking around, I definitely noticed it. Also, if it does start raining, be careful because these are not water resistant. They work fine for a light workout, but definitely do your best not to get them wet. As far as the user experience, volume is conveniently controlled by using the rotating crown, and you can also use the button to manage playback and calls. For media, a single press will play or pause, a double press will skip forward, and a triple press will skip backwards. You can also answer a call with a single press, double press it to end a call, and while you're on a call, you can single press to mute and unmute yourself. Now, this was super convenient, and it pretty much meant that I almost never had to reach for my phone, and it worked great with every app. And speaking of apps, it brings me to PetSafe and the new Guardian GPS 2.0. It's a super advanced wireless GPS dog fence with real-time tracking. And the best part, there's no buried wires, no complicated installation, just super simple, safe, and reliable containment anywhere you go. So for example, my backyard is fenced in, but my front yard isn't. And Mac is super curious and easily distracted, so I wouldn't typically trust her not to chase squirrels or even wander into the street. All I had to do was install the My Pet Safe app, follow the step-by-step guide, create custom boundaries, and place the collar on Mac to begin training. Once she was ready to go, I could set up to 50 wireless fences for home, travel, or new locations. The collar is smaller than the previous one and is waterproof, and the rechargeable battery lasts up to 70 hours. And as an added bonus, if Mac ever does somehow get out of my yard, I can easily locate her in the app. So if you want to learn more and get a great GPS dog fence with real-time tracking, check out the Guardian GPS 2.0, and thank you to PetSafe for sponsoring this portion of the video. Let's talk a little bit more about the sound. So the USB-C version supports lossless audio, but only if you're using them wired with a USB-C cable connected directly to a compatible device or with a 3.5mm adapter. And while you can hear the difference with a proper setup and source, I mostly stuck to Bluetooth, which is what I think your typical AirPods Max user is going to do. Now, this still puts the AirPods Max in an interesting category. They're definitely wireless first headphones, but they now also offer a more capable option for a certain demanding niche. And I think that this is an interesting approach by Apple. Now, as far as wireless audio quality, the average user is going to think they sound great. And that's the category that I put myself in. I'm sure that audiophiles will have their critiques, but the reality is that I rarely listen listen to these in ideal conditions. I'm mostly on the go, watching YouTube or movies, listening to music, and the vast majority of the time I have noise cancellation on, which already is going to impact audio quality with any headphone. Now, if I wanted the best quality and I was sitting in the gaming studio, which is treated for sound, then the lossless wired connection would definitely be the way to go. And speaking of gaming, I do use my AirPods Max when I play PUBG Mobile. I can hear everything. I don't notice any type of delay, and these don't cause any type of echo that the rest of my squad can hear. From a connectivity standpoint, these have been super seamless with Apple devices. I switch between my MacBook, iPad, and iPhone all the time. There's no lag, no weird handoff type things, and that's one of the best parts of using these within the Apple ecosystem. Now, one thing that I did notice during this trip is that my ears got warm. Not so much in the later part, which was in Sweden because it was cooler, but definitely in the warmer environment in Croatia. And that's where I would probably just switch to my AirPods Pro. The top of my head was fine with the AirPods Max because the mesh is super breathable, but I definitely felt it in my ears. As far as aesthetics, as I said, I love the clean look, and I got mine in midnight, which pretty much goes with everything. On the flight home, I pretty much lived in these. Again, the whole time I'm at the airport, the lounge, and on the plane, I super appreciated the noise cancellation and quickly being able to switch to transparency mode. Also in business class, there were wired headphones with active noise cancellation, and after using the AirPods Max, they were a substantial step down. They were less comfortable, there was worse passive noise cancellation, worse active noise cancellation, and again, very clearly worse audio quality. So are the USB-C AirPods Max great travel headphones? If you're all in on Apple and you prioritize noise cancellation, you want great transparency mode, good wireless audio quality, and you still want the option for lossless wired audio, absolutely. When I look at pros and cons, on the pro side, there's very good noise cancellation, great battery life. Finally, we have USB-C, which simplifies charging. They have a beautiful premium build, and they're a seamless Apple ecosystem integration. Looking at the cons, they're still on the expensive side. They're bulky and they're not the most travel safe, but I did find a solid case that I'm going to order. I'll link to it in the description. Thanks for coming with me on this trip. If you enjoyed this type of real world tech review, hit that subscribe button and let me know what headphones you travel with in the comment section below. And remember that even when you travel, you can use the My Pet Safe app to help safely, easily, and reliably contain your dog anywhere you go. And you'll also have the added peace of mind that you have access to real-time tracking with the Guardian GPS 2.0 from PetSafe. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.